All right, ready when you are.
Okay, great. So I'm going to start off with DraftKings, DKNG. Still looking for the gambling stocks to make a move. That small cap I found did
That
really
genie,
well. That
that genie. Yeah,
Genie,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I made my
yep.
notes. Good stuff.
And here I'm seeing a lot of strength and options on DraftKings. I got 120 14C and into February 14C 16C, pretty kind of clear as day. And that isn't a real dramatic recovery for the stock.
No.
It's just sort of a earnings gap fill kind of deal. So that's sort of what I see happening with that one.
If you search the group, especially the main chat, 14 was the level for me to hold. Like it needed to hold that the last time we played it coming out of ER, when I think we ran to 18. But
Yeah.
14 was kind of like the level to hold on the downside. So getting back there totally makes sense. One line I do have on this chart, let me pull it up. 1394 would be the line I have on the chart. So that's it in a nutshell. Yeah, I like that the flow came back into this. Um, you can't keep a good dog down, in my opinion.
Yeah, they and I mean this is a good example of a stock where kind of early in my trading, career, I was in on this when it was in like the 40s and 50s and was day trading it. It had this really bad short report, if I recall, and that was kind of the beginning of the end, for it then. But just a good example of checking down to kind of a sane valuation and being playable down here and still offering a kind of massive range. You don't need it to go to 35 or $50 or something. Like we just we'll trade it down here, get it back to 14. Could go back to 20 in good conditions, but yeah, just previous winner back in a good zone. Um,
This if you go real quick and look at book value P, it's like $4. You know that
yeah,
40 you're talking about. You know that higher level that's like 10x. Just simple, quick,
yeah,
stupid math. Down here at 16, that's like 4x. That's a little bit more feasible multiplier. So just a good way to look at
yeah. It
it.
is. I mean, particularly with that sector, and their growth is based on laws,
Yeah,
government
yeah,
policy,
yes,
and that getting more favorable, and that is trending in their direction. Um, Government sees opportunity to make money off gambling. The morality of the countries, how depending on your perspective, is moving moving that direction. Whether you think that's good or bad, but yeah. So and they're kind of the recognizable name too. So
100%. Yeah.
um,
Hey, Furus love
definitely
that. Furus love it.
welcome.
1 out of 10 or 9 out
Yeah.
of 10 Furus
Oh yeah.
love DraftKings.
Yeah. That's where their Discord rooms are heading for
Yeah,
sure. So to
100%. 100%.
get those get the 10 assists from the Pacers point guard or whatever
Yeah. For your
you bank.
$100 membership.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So next up for me, want to get your thought on these. Mara. So getting back into crypto, and it's actually not because I think that coin is about to have a huge explosion or something, but it's really just based on risk and flow. Mara is fairly low risk down here to me, depending on how you look at it. For shares, low risk. For leaps, low risk. Weekly options are high risk, so I avoid those. But when I'm seeing June 10C just popped up kind of out of nowhere late in the week, and that really got me interested. You see, 4P is a strong level in sold puts. Calls on the shorter time frames, go to like 6 and 8. So there's some potential for this to squeeze up to 10. Timing is tricky, but that's what leaps are for.
So I've been pounding this goddamn table since like December 1st, maybe even Thanksgiving. That crypto is just leave it alone, walk away, stop talking about crypto. I made $200 off of Riot last week. Shout out to Pele. So I'm with you on these charts. They're just in a spot where they're going to naturally come up. If you have flow to
Yeah.
support, it, and it looks like something, um, I guess feasible, I would play it. But I'm not. This is where we got to pound the table that it's not going to make it back to 10. It's probably going to, 6 or 7 because those contracts will whatever you say in
Yeah.
price.
Yep.
Triple in price at 6 or 7, right? I think that's what you're seeing, just some natural relief. Um, Riot though had good numbers. Like they said, we're still producing Bitcoin and we're profitable, and we sold some of it so we could have some money, and we still have a ton of it. Like so, they just showed their system, which a lot of these guys don't show their system, right? Like this is how much we make,
Yeah.
this is how much we produce, this is what it's costing us, and Riot's profitable, so they can still mine coin. It's just not 5 times the profit. So they got a little bump, natural relief off of that. Um, Mara, I haven't looked into, so I will do that. I'll see what their report looks like, or what they're releasing on numbers as far as like the year goes, because they should release something at the first of the year. Um, but I do like them, and those are the two I would stick to from the shitty penny side.
Yeah, and coin. I'm not putting coin on the hot list, but it'll be in my notes. And it's been down here long enough to have a pretty simple setup. Is that 35 is a magnet right now. So with that, what that means is that you get below 35 to like 32 range, something like that. It's likely to come back up and check back at 35. You spike above 35, that's a great put entry. And that's actually the better trade right now, because one of these days it's going to break break down and keep going, probably to like $25. So so yeah, so I'm not optimistic of a full breakout reversal, anything like that, but these are likely to catch some relief. That's the main idea here. And on that note, for the large caps, I want to talk about MSTR.
You want to put it on?
And they there was a definite move to save this one. It had some potential to break down to about 120, but Whale stepped in, kind of put the line in the sand at 140 in the puts, and had this move back up to 160. What what I kind of see happening here is a little bit more relief. But what I actually like is for a breakdown to so this is going to probably be it's going to be a little bit of an upside play early in the week. But what I'm actually after is a short entry to about 135. But I want those contracts to come down. So so that's kind of my main watch here. You see me talking about MSTR, short term bullish, longer term bearish. Where the relief can go from here, it can get back up to 180 to 200, depending on where the week goes. You look at the chart; it had a 12% upside day a few days ago. Gave a lot of that back, and then is kind of charging back up. So massive range on this, especially for a large cap. So that's why I like it. Don't think we're going to get all the way back up to our last short entry. Of like it got up to like 213 or something like that. But your number, what was your number? Like 203? Is that
for
right?
for this guy, 202.56.
Yeah. Okay, that's the upside target that we might fail before that, but that's kind of the ceiling. But I'd start looking to go short above 180.
I
Just
got
we'll kind of see where it goes.
so on my 10 year. If you pull out the 10 year on this, because this stock does have some history, um, I got a consolidation at 176, um, and then 130's volume profile on the 10 year. So like, I don't see it getting back to that 200 P. I mean, you said 180, but
Yeah,
176,
yeah,
180, that makes a little more sense. This thing's
yeah.
super respectful though at levels. On the 1 hour, on the 20-day 1 hour, it popped up consolidation at 164 on the on 23rd of December, and it had that big dip down. But when it came up, it came right back up to that level, that 164, whatever,
Yeah.
and that's where we are. So I would really watch like around 176 if you want to go short, and then I'm with you on the downside at 130, 135 if you want to go long. I mean, that's how you play that, right?
Yeah, that's my strategy on it is scalp options on the upside into into the 170s, and then look to go long, like, or look to go short further out at that 135 level. And this upside move is going to trim 100 to $150 off those put contracts,
Yeah,
which is what
yeah,
I'm after.
yeah.
And then and then play it back down. Yeah, so and I agree. I mean, it would take tied to Bitcoin's price. Bitcoin would have to break out of this range
Yeah, like
to make
20K.
any kind of significant move to the upside. So that's something to watch, and I'll change my thesis if that happens. But for now, this is what I like on it, and I like to return to these previous winners. Um, just because our win rate coming back to something is so good. So that's why I'm putting it on the list. Well, I'll write all this up in that Bear Cave page too.
Perfect.
Um,
So you're definitely downside to that. You're more, it's pushing to the 130s,
yeah,
but
I'm
but
yeah,
you're
right.
trying to
I'm
buy at
downside,
180,
but
but trying to buy at 180.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll drop the chart. I'll drop my big chart on that. Not to bounce back or anything, but take out your handy dandy pen and put 656 on Riot or Mara, sorry. Um, for that's probably where we stall if we do have that upside move.
Nice. Yeah, and those 10C leaps. I mean, we're talking January of next year on those, so
Yeah.
that's enough. I mean,
Oh,
that would give
sure,
you like
sure.
50% on those or something. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely
It's 50%
like
on
those, like the
shares.
share side too.
It's 50% on shares from there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
All right. Good stuff.
All right, so next up for me is it's a new one, CLMT. Um,
CLNT, like Clint with no I.
MT.
MT. Okay,
No,
yeah.
M. Yeah,
MT. Yeah. Okay.
M is in Mary.
Yeah,
So
got you.
they hydrocarbon stock. Something's going on with these. Anything carbon related. You're going to see um, it's kind of chemicals. GPRE is going to show up for me too in a minute. But this one got my attention. Never had really seen it before, but I've got 2020 and 22C. 20C for January 20th and 22C for February 17th. So this one has monthly options. Um, Kind of looks like this is just the move to 20 is just a retest of, is that all time high, I guess?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. How's that look? Um, this is sort of what I do in materials and energy sometimes, is just those retest and breakthrough at all time high. So that's what I'm looking at here.
I like it at 14. It's definitely in an uptrend, so you have that going for you. Um, Probably better from the option side unless we check back to 15, 14, 15 level. Um, but yeah, it's on its way to 20 if you look at the chart.
Yeah, I would go with those February 22s. Probably would be my target. Um, just a couple of those, looking to make $100 or $200 on it.
Sure, sure.
Yep. And then next up, this one I think we're at a better entry spot, and it's also a previous winner. So uh, definitely like this one, is the GPRE.
Yay.
And
That was on the
I
list.
got 36 on it, and then a
Yes.
little further out, I got 40 leaps.
I always get the P and the R backwards. So I had to read there. Yeah, 31, 31, 30 is the top of our level. Four solid weeks. If you look at the weekly, that 2850 held very, very well. So that would probably be your perfect entry if it gets any kind of pullback, which it's done the last 4 weeks. It's given that entry. Um, but the 30, once we confirm 31, we're not coming back. We did it last time. It just real quick took a week, stayed up on that level. 36 is still the target for me. So if that's what you have flow at this, A plus.
Yeah, this would be my one of my top watches and materials for sure. And chemicals, by the way, you're starting to see some signs. I think Alto needs one more week for me, but that's probably going to be on next week. And then, of course, Dow in the large caps. If you're someone who just likes to accumulate shares in something, Dow is just excellent, and is going back to like $70 eventually. So anytime you can get Dow around the 50s or under 50, I think it's a good spot.
Yeah, that chart
Um,
took. I haven't looked at that chart in a while, and it took off. It's had an
yeah,
amazing
it's four
week.
percent on Friday. 4% is a huge day for Dow too. So yeah, that was crazy. Um, all right, so for me, SBO, Silver Bow Resources, a new oil play for me. And you didn't really like the spot in the chart on it, if I recall. And,
Is this
um,
Collabit?
yeah, yeah.
Let me go see what I said.
Let me see.
I was tired yesterday. I thought I had to rewatch Read the Room because I thought it was horrible. Um, but it wasn't that bad. 'Cause
That was good. I watched it. You got
I
a little thumbs up from me on that.
appreciate you. No, this one wasn't the bad one. Black was the bad one, which I think is coming.
Ah, okay.
But Espo is the 34. That 1 year volume profile is all I have. So if you have 35s, I mean, you just need that. I just need to see that much of the range from you. If it's 30s, there it might check down a little bit before that. But 35 is kind of the pivot for me. So if you have that, this is a great play.
Yeah, let me
It's just that 30s is
whale.
B. 30s is like B plus, where 35s is A plus, right? Like,
Yeah, it's 421 35C.
yeah, this is good.
Um,
This is good.
and then June 50C. We'll see on that one. But
Well,
yeah, so
you were there in August. You were at 50 in August here, so I mean that's not like out of the question. I like the 35 play though because it was 40 in um, November.
yeah, so what Wales did on Friday, they went in really heavy on April 25C. So they're buying calls in the money, and they're going to exercise
Size
those
those.
after
Yep.
it hits 30. That's kind of my take on it, which gives the stock an extra push. And because it's in oil, it's got that momentum behind it. So as long as oil's trending the right way, it's not likely to just kind of collapse. But so yeah, I like this. And 35 would be my main target on it.
I think that's a good setup. I'm not to get into your pool too much, but I really think Biden's going to get nailed on shutting down exploration permits and stuff like that, feasible permits and stuff like that, and he's going to probably pass a package, uh, somehow calling it the Clean Energy Drill Act or something. I don't know, and just to get out of that hot water and to get a little relief. So the guys that go into exploration, obviously the big boys, but some of these smaller ones are really going to benefit from it. Like we're on rig too, right? Like that's one too. I think will benefit
Yeah,
from something like that. Just the people that are into exploration as well as just drill, just
well, and
transporting it and
the
drilling it.
latest thing in the rhetoric on energy is to call natural gas clean.
Yes.
That's been a big.
Yeah.
Uh, so nothing about natural gas has changed, but the outlook on it, perspective on it, and it's really if the United States is going to be energy independent, um, you have to you still have to emphasize oil and natural gas. That's
Hundred
just the
percent.
reality. So
100%.
so yeah, I mean, even though Republicans didn't just fully take over Congress, Biden's going to be under some pressure, and so I'm with you on that for sure.
Yeah, just I
Uh,
mean, and that's stuff you don't really need the sales, right? You just need the hope for that. Like that's where you get the hopium is
oh yeah,
oh
for sure. Yeah,
you can drill in X, Y, or Z now, and they're like, oh, those companies are already there, and then they don't need to sell anything or even they only need to put a shovel in the ground. The stock goes up because of that hope that hey, they're gonna open up 2 or 3x area or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
just one of those things
yeah,
where it's like there's a lot of hope built into mining in general. Um, yeah, and I think that's what these guys. A real quick look, that's what these guys are more of. Um,
yes, absolutely.
and they're another
And
South Texas, so you're probably very familiar with them.
oh yeah, yeah, they're out of Austin, I think. All right, so next up for me, Dino, which I did catch on Read the Room. I was glad to see that. And the flow here, $60,
Oh
June.
wow, wow.
It's yeah, so it just kind of stands out clear as day. And this is what happens with Dino flow. They don't really walk it up. They just set it. They just put a pin on their board and say, okay, we're going to take it to $60, and then you'll see it. You'll see it happen. So, um, definitely like that flow. As we get moving, I'd be looking for 65s to pop up again.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely think we can make a pretty strong move um, to 56 to 60 over the next couple of weeks.
I'm trying to remember when you brought this up. It was I don't know. It was really early on, but yeah, this takes time to leg up. I love the chart. I had
Yeah,
53.
I think it was under 40 when we first started talking about it,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
thereabouts.
Oh, 100%. I just can't remember how long ago it was. It's a while ago. Um,
Yeah,
I like it though. I think perfect entry would be off of 50 EMA on the weekly. It's about 47, but it's probably ain't gonna get there to be honest. Like even if there is any kind of downside, love it, love it, love it.
all right. So next up for me, this is one that just got really beaten down off earnings, but I'm back interested in it again. Is Ollie.
ALLY. Hard read for me.
So Ollie, this is a bargain outlet store, OLLI, and yeah. So the flow here's to 60 over in March calls.
What the fuck? Okay.
And so yeah, so that's where I kind of see it going. Um,
You see it going to 60?
Ideally,
Are you serious?
I do.
All
Yeah,
right.
I do. Yeah.
100 shares, send Professor the bill. I'm right taking a note. Sorry. All right, got you. Um, I got this thing in this 2450
That's
27
a different
channel.
style. Are you on OLLI?
Oh no, I'm on ALLY.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right.
OLLI.
The other one. All right, my bad, my bad. That's why I was laughing at you. I was like, "Are you fucking serious? That's 100% from here." Um. Okay, no, I got
We've done
52.
those. Yeah, we've done 100%. Usually not a staple small cap, but
Isn't
yeah.
that like a fucking pay now buy later thing? The ALLY? Isn't
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's why I started laughing. I was like, "Come on." Um, 52, 75. That's kind of your volume profile right there. Um, and then the 66 is my top end. So you're basically just getting back to the last high from about a month ago. Um,
yeah. This one, I was a little frustrated because Thursday, Friday, I planned to deal with this week, and then on Friday it went ahead and took off 6% on me. So it left a little early. Would really like to add this back under 50, but I'm not sure if we get that.
At 47's volume profile in the 1 year, it had mad accumulation last month and a half,
Yeah,
maybe 2 months down at this level. So that 47 to 55 definitely is a channel. But if you get to 60, it should confirm 55. So that's
yeah,
so
yeah.
I think you just missed it Friday. Like if you could have Friday back, it's perfect entry.
Exactly. Yeah, I just I had my mind on other things. I was babysitting these crazy SPX calls that I kept
Yeah,
going back
no,
on.
no. Just looking at your week last week, I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna bother Professor. He's in the zone.
Yeah,
Just leave that guy alone. 60s March, you said?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
All right, so then getting into the weed. I'm not going to hot list Tilray because
Yeah.
I just I mean their earnings are going to kind of set the
Dictate.
tone here.
Yep. Yep.
But I think Grow G is the one that
Yay.
this is sort of my favorite weed stock.
Mm-hmm.
Just flow wise, it just seems to work for me. And so right here, entries near 4 are just about perfect. Um, the flow on this is looking to take this to 5 in the February and March calls, and that's a pretty big move. But that can happen in like 2 days with this thing if it gets going. And I've also actually I got 7.5C into the summer on it.
Nice. Yeah, this was a huge winner off both levels last time. Really feel like I got a handle on this chart since you handed it over. 395. Put it on your damn chart. 395. And then that 550 really was respectful in the last run. So I kind of watch it there. It spent 2 solid weeks like confirming that level last time before we ran to 8. So that 7's not crazy. But you're gonna have to confirm that 5.5 for sure. It's very tradable from $4 to 5.5. The way I trade shares.
Yeah, and then next up for me is CGC.
He's
Now,
doing
so this is a good example of a stock that has had plenty of opportunities to just go ahead and die and do the current thing, right? But I don't know a lot about the company, but there's some survivability potential here, and this level here under anything under 250, being that 250 is a sold put level, is really solid. This has flow back to 4 into March.
another chart I got just locked down. 222, 430. It's been in that channel since we've been down here. Glad the flow lines up with that. On the business side, these guys are the Canopy company. Compare them to the Disney of basically like the Disney of weed. They just
Yeah.
if it's successful, they buy it. So they're banking on absorbing a lot of successful setups currently in current conditions that those values are going to pay off when the market does open all the way up. So they'll buy something in Colorado, they'll buy something in California, buy something in Canada, and they're just waiting to network all that together when interstate commerce is available. So that's the risk with them, is the way they're approaching the business because they're literally just spending money to acquire things until it's legal. Um,
Yeah, and I think at the point at which it's like mainstream and stable and favorable legislation and all that, you're looking at like this is an eight to $16 stock or something like that.
sure, sure,
I think that's reasonable. So
100%.
so yeah, if it's just it doesn't have a lot of appeal to me long term, even though I think it's going there. I'd rather trade it up, on the way up to
Yeah,
that
and
and just keep hitting it over and over.
this one's probably a little bit better known, so it's better swing candidate at this level, in my opinion. Whether you buy 10 shares, 100 shares, 1,000 shares, 10,000 shares, depending on your account size and your risk tolerance. Um,
Yeah.
at this level, this is going to be. It's in the twos right now. It's going to be in the threes at some point in time in the near short term future. Next 6 months, guaranteed. Like it just the
Yeah.
natural movement of the chart happens. So um, figure out your risk and learn how to swing trade with these ones because these are the better setups, in my opinion.
Yeah, and if you want to do that same kind of trade and don't want to tie up a lot of your capital in it, a couple Leafs does the same thing for you. So that
Yeah,
and I mean that's why whales buy them. You can just control shares for less money. You just got to be aware of the decay and all that, which is why Leafs are better because hold up longer.
Yeah,
So,
definitely do
so
what
yeah,
you're
close to the
comfortable with.
money. Just get leaps kind of close to in the money, and you can do really well on a swing trade too. All
Perfect.
right, so next up for me is uh, AVTR.
That was on your list.
Yes. Okay, so AVTR, not really crazy about adding it over 20, but I think we're going to get it's going to check back down to like 1950 or close to 19 possibly. But what I like is I like the upside move back to 22 to 24, which is what I see in February calls.
Yeah, like I got 1991 volume profile. Your volume profile is right at 20, so whatever you can get it under 20 and take it back into the 20s would be perfect on the share side. I was hoping you had, what was it, 28s to 30. That would be A plus for me. Um, but yeah, it's kind of a trending here, creating really good support off that 20 psych. That's how I read this chart.
Yeah, so and they have their earnings aren't until February, so February 3rd. That's going to be a pretty big. It'll be do a pretty big move off of that. Trying to get kind of a run up into earnings into that 22, 23 range is what I'm after.
Perfect.
All right, so then next up is DOYU. Going back to China for a
I
minute.
like this chart.
So we were way early on this, and it just the flow kind of keeps going. I still have flow to $3 for May on it. So that's about 100% from here. Not sure that if we get that, but just I like this to continue. Definitely like it to $2. So don't think unless the situation changes with China that we're going to get some dramatic pullback. So kind of trade it with that in mind.
Yeah, I know. October, November, when you were calling bios randomly, and they were making huge runs, we kind of got sidetracked. We really should just pay attention to your China calls. They might
Yeah.
not move. They might not move overnight, but they're just as big of a move through time. IQ shout out. This is the next one in my opinion. So I mean, it probably won't have as much range as IQ, but the trend will be just as good, and that's more important in this market to me. So, um, yeah, China New Year is greater than Santa Rally. That's for sure.
Yeah, and they China reopening is
Yeah,
still
yeah,
thing, and they're just pulling back restrictions here and there. Um, things that China can change quickly, and it's sort of these unilateral decisions that can impact things. But right now, I would not short China. I just play the pullbacks.
well, it's kind of what we talked about in the earlier session. Is like you don't short when shit's beat oversold. I guess that's the only way I can say it. Why would you try to short
Yeah,
something when it's oversold? The only way to play China plays right now is to the upside. There's really no way to play them to the downside with catalyst or not. The fact that we have catalysts that are pushing them to the upside is kind of why we're beating the table on them. And the proof is in the pudding in those. You've seen it happen. It's going to continue to happen probably for the next 2 months before it does change drastically, unless we get a
yeah, and I mean
major news.
we were talking about Baba in the 80s, and it's over 100 now. So
Yeah.
and very quickly. So these can move for sure.
It started with talent IQ. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's just been a yeah.
All right. So next up for me, I was really early on this one, and fetch, but I think it's got
TCH.
some more here. Yep.
Yeah, nice call on the bottom there, P.
Yeah. Thanks. And so here, now that basically the flow to five saw originally has panned out. So at that point, I'm like, okay, are they rolling these? Are they gonna try to push this further? And I do think so. Let me give you some give you some strikes here.
It's gonna be 7.
So one thing about the sold calls here is that they're sold to close. So it's meaning that they made their profits on the calls, they're closing those positions, and they're starting to open new ones. So I have well, I have 20 C leaps in 2025, which was the most popular contract on Friday. Um, which short term, doesn't mean a lot because there's so much time on that one. But really, what stands out to me, I've got 750
Yeah, there you
C
go. There
into
you go.
May,
There you go.
and a lot of strength in the 5C 120, which is close to in the money. And then into the summer, you get some tens and et cetera. You just don't see put activity on this almost non-existent. Put to call ratio is 0.04. So there is not an attempt in options to short this right now.
Do you have a floor in options though? Like
And on the sold side, let me see here.
just in general, yeah. Like they sell in 4s or 5s. I guess that's the question. If they are,
Yeah, they're selling fives.
okay.
125C is the sold call that stands out, or
Yeah,
5P. I mean,
yeah. Then I
125P.
like that 750 level. Um, just with that, and then obviously from there you go to 10, but um, your flow rate's just so outrageous. This had volume,
Yeah.
like a lot of the sell off was huge, and it handled the pressure pretty well. If you look at the weekly volume candles, you'll see like the sell pressure was flipping huge. So for me, getting back into that $7 range just seems like where it should be. Um, with
Yeah, it's a 7 to 10 channels, kind of what I see on this.
Yeah, I was gonna Hugh Henny this and go. I got 650 and 1004, and the volume profiles are 789 and 846. Um, but yeah, there's not a lot of clarity. It should be back to 7, 7 to 10, somewhere in there. This is
And
this isn't that old of a stock, Pete. It's only like, oh no, I lied. What the hell? No, sorry. Go ahead.
all right, so next up is another familiar name for us, Stitch S-Fix.
Really? Let's go.
Yeah.
I gave up. I kind of gave up down here.
So I think it's back. I'm seeing some signs of life here with like I got 4C in the short term.
Yeah.
So that would at 120 4C, and a lot of accumulation of these 3.5C on all expirations. So um,
Accumulators.
those are in the money.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'd play off of.
June 7.5C stands out as well.
Yeah, this is my new Crocs play. Basically, I just been waiting because it's
Yeah.
not. You gotta let it like go all the way down. The bottom is unknown. The top is kind of the numbers for me where you're calling like this $7 to $10 stock again. $4 is the line I have on the chart. So I was waiting for it to get back to there to see what it does because there is a lot of volume there. So just playing back to the level short term, I do like. Um, but yeah, I think they were left for dead and they're not going to die. Online retail.
Yeah, and this was 280 a few weeks ago, but really hard to play it from 280 because
Yeah.
there wasn't a floor.
Mm-mm.
It could have fallen to $2 or 50, who knows. But yeah, so I liked it to kind of prove itself a bit. Ads near 350, sort of what I'm after. Looking for that move to 450, possibly to 5. So
I would drop those ads to 3.25, but yeah, everything you
oh,
said
okay,
there.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3.25.
Yeah, I base it on the option strikes, but yeah, anything
Yeah.
below that'd be good too.
Um,
Um,
yeah, I like the
all
setup.
right, so
Right here.
uh, and then next up for me, this was kind of funny because I think the day before it happened, I dropped it in Colab, but Vorb.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and then it went 27% on Friday. This set for historic satellite launch from Britain on Monday. So this one is, kind of a higher risk play, but I mean, this could go 50, 60% or something like that in a couple of days. If it's, the launch is good. So, just like that flow wise, I got flow to 3 on it, which is why I'm interested.
395 is the level I had on this chart. Zero confirmation. We kind of talked about that though. These charts just didn't have a real bottom. News catalyst, obviously
Yeah.
something to play. It's a whole other reason to play this. I've watched the rest of them as well, just as sympathies because they're all beat down. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
kind of more of a B setup because you don't have fours. If you had fours, it'd be A plus.
Yeah, I think it might be kind of a quick squeeze, but
I like it.
we'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
As a previous winner, definitely just like how it moves.
Yeah, enough volume on Friday too to carry this into Monday, and people have trouble that are short against it.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. All right, and then last one for me is I do have a large cap here, Snow. Played this one to the downside most of the week, um, but I'm backing off of that because there's this massive block of a couple $1 million of sold puts at 120, and so I think a dip, probably honestly like 122 is sort of where I would set the floor on it, just based on some of its history, but like the reversal potential here, to get back up to anywhere between like 136 to 140 is kind of where I see this going, and on a run up, with CPI is hot. This will drop right back down, but I think we talked about the scenario of kind of a pump into CPI, and this would be one that would have kind of these oversized moves, can have 5 to 7% upside days. So options move really well.
I got 131.35. It's the only light I have on the chart. Kind of lines up with um, just the pivot from the last time it dropped down here. Lots of range when it does get coming back around. Um, I was talking to Viperfish about this one at the gym. He actually brought it up at about 120 kind of being oversold. So I'm glad the flow picked that up as well, or sees the same thing because
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah,
um, just the relief to 150 seems like a decent play whether you're in shares or options. So
yeah. And I mean, and the thing about options with how they move. I mean, you can scalp almost anything both directions, but where's the risk? And so early in the week,
yeah,
um, there was less risk playing the downside, and that panned out pretty well. I had like a 300% trade on this one, and now we're at a point where that the script is flipped, and so upside trades have less risk. So that's the side I want to be on, and we have these previous levels, and even that move to 132 is an excellent trade, over a day or two here. So really like that.
good stuff. Good stuff.
Expensive options, so I usually just go 1 or 2 weeks out when I play this one.
Okay.
Um, if you're into leaps, and you want to put 700-800 bucks in something, we're at a good spot for leaps on this too, but that just depends on your account and risk and all
Nice, nice. I like it.
that. All right, so then we can go through the previous list.
I redid my notes page this year. This is the second time I've done it.
Mm.
I gotta make your section bigger. No, good stuff. I do want to say on the hot list, like on the the ones we're about to go through, like the repeats. Um,
Yeah.
just the two really simple rules. Will they are just checks in our heads? Are they going to provide an entry this week, or will this trend continue enough to trade? I think those like should just be our two said like they have to meet that
Yes,
requirements
because
from
I
now on.
think some are still good, but like if you're not in them, let it go.
Yeah,
Just because they already moved so much. Yeah,
yeah, and no, and not like
take the win. Take the win.
and not waiting as long. I mean, there's some we should wait on, but not waiting. Being more critical on the ones we wait on, like making sure we're waiting because they're A plus. Like that's why we're waiting.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect, perfect. Because I like where we're going with getting a lot of fresh stuff every week, but I don't want to go back to the 50 on the list
Yeah.
if we can avoid it. Perfect. All right, AA.
Yeah, I am keeping this mainly because the flow still goes to 60 on it,
Yes.
and I think at minimum we get that 50 test, and that's a pretty decent move.
Yeah, the weekly for me, the trend's still there. It's just waiting to go. I like it. We got S Bo and SNO on this goddamn list this week. That's gonna kill me, P. Baba and Beely. These would be good ones. Is there enough left in this, or are we taking the dubs on these?
I think we should take the dub. Baba could go to 120, but I don't think it goes straight to 120 from here. So it's going to calm down a bit. And but I mean, but here's the deal: we'll be talking about Baba. It's going to be in notes.
Yeah,
Pac is on it big time too. We just don't need it on the hot
hot
list
list.
because
Yeah, yes.
it made us move and then some. Same with
Hollis
Philly.
Hollis is almost like just an introduction to good setups. After that, like we're hopefully you're talking and asking and learning to develop skills so you can continue to trade it after you see the setup.
Yeah,
Like yeah, so I'll mention this if it hits the 100 level. If we bounce off 100, because that's going to be easy 5-10%. Um, perfect. And then Beely the same thing. Um,
yeah, same deal for me. Yeah,
yeah,
yep.
because for me that's rejecting 30. I don't know about you, but CCL, what up though? One of my best trades
uh,
of the week.
yeah,
I'm
no, it's good. I still got 12s on it, so for that reason, I'm keeping
win,
it.
win.
Oh, when?
Yeah,
I thought you
yeah,
said
not
win. I was
no,
looking
no,
up
we're not
when.
we're not that far yet.
Yeah, so I've got 217 12C
Oh Jesus. Where are we at on this? I gotta write this down.
February.
Sorry, I do have this new note system, and it's a little more redundant. CENX.
Um, we'll keep AA. I'm gonna take the win here off
Okay.
a 10% move. It still like longer term. This is to me like a $16 to $20 stock, but it doesn't mean we need to have it on the hot list every week.
Perfect. Chef.
How do you feel about the 40 level on this? Because that's what I've got for March.
I feel like I got the 38.99 level,
Well, there you go. So
so
yeah,
it's real close,
yeah,
real close. Keep it.
yeah. We'll keep it. We'll keep
Okay.
it. Yeah.
That's a sleeper. Um, Klein.
I think this one's just getting started.
Okay, I'm with you.
Let me see what I got here.
I only got it back to six and a quarter, but I still think that's light. That's just kind of where you want to stop
Uh,
at, and
got got 317, 7C,
7th.
8C,
Yeah,
9C.
yeah, we're keeping that. We gotta talk about this one here, P. ENVX. We would have had a fucking perfect list without this guy. But
It recovered.
it was all pre-market, so I know no, I'm not worried about that. No one should have got caught in this because it was all pre-market. But
um,
man, did it tank.
yeah, I don't know. So to me, this was the flow was so good going into it that Wales just missed big time on whatever happened. I'm not even sure what happened.
I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off, but the flow actually is good on it. But here's my other rule: won't keep something on for a different reason than I originally put it on there.
Yeah.
So, um, so this I might return to it, but I'm gonna take it off for now.
It looks like it was a sell the news, to be honest. Like they had a
Yeah,
delivery to the army, and and it just dumped on that.
yeah,
Maybe the army was like, we're not paying, we just taking it. That's what we do now.
right.
Flex. That was a good one.
Um, yeah, I do think that it probably goes to 23, but that's also just not enough. Not enough. I'll take the win basically.
Perfect. Perfect. Frey.
I think this is actually a good swing candidate. Let me see what I've got here.
I think we called this at the right time.
Yes. Yeah, I've got tens. So I've got 120 10C, and I got 421 15C.
Yeah, we'll keep that. Genie. Weekly candle. Worked out great. Fours. As long as you got fours, we should stay here.
Yeah, I'm still, I'm into the sector. Kind of adding instead of taking off.
Subtracting. Perfect.
So this one, the tricky thing about options, I don't actually usually call these. It has those 250 gaps between the strikes.
Okay. Okay.
But the fives and 750s and the leaps are still good, and they're just buying up a ton of the 2.5 Cs, the exercise. So yeah, I like the setup.
Yeah, and once this thing gets above 5, and who knows where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're turning into a swing page. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Hood.
Yeah, still really like any ads under 9 on this. I've got flow to 11 into March and April.
Yeah, someone's buying that. I see.
Got quiet. I'm gonna back off this one for a bit.
Perfect. Lift. Shout
Gonna
out
take
to
the win.
Yeah, shout out to
Yeah.
that $11 level. That's the good stuff. Meta.
Yeah, another one. Still, I really like this. Got kind of that Netflix move where it didn't care that the market was selling off and just kept going up. Just really like this one long term to like 180 to 220 sort of level. I'm gonna take it off the hot list for now. Just
It's not a good place to
could
add.
explode. Yeah, I mean, a good place to add is closer to 120, I think, if you can get that. But
There we go.
yeah.
METC. That was a killer move. Nice move.
Yeah, it's a coal stock. Still like coal.
11s.
Yeah, let me see here.
If you got 11s, it's keepable. That's both your volume profiles.
Yeah, I got 1250, 217, 12.5C, March 15C.
And it's a coal
June,
stock.
June 20C.
Yeah, let's keep that.
Yeah, I think coal's not going anywhere.
No.
I think I still like coal.
God, no, I'm bullish on coal and gold.
Like we saw what happened with BTU and what continues to happen with BTU. So.
Yeah, coal and gold, man. We're going back to the Stone Age.
Yeah, it's like a Charles Dickens market.
that's what I needed. Thank you, Pete. MKC. I love it when I nail these ones. I really do.
Just one of the best staple stocks going. Now I think that the move here is going to be slow, but that also means that you can still get on the train here. I've got 9250 to 95C into March and April. So slow grind, but I think it gets up there.
Yeah, share side the 81 level was the perfect ads, which we That's when we were on it. We're just kind of in the middle of the move. So if you got in, I would stay in with that flow read. That's ridiculous because the 88's my top. If you have above that, we should definitely make that level. Um, do you want to keep this?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Marvel, not the comic book.
So this probably is the best semiconductor setup with regards to flow. When you're trading options on these, you don't uh, probably AMD and Nvidia are good just because you can just do market orders because the bid ask is so tight on those. But in terms of range, I got 317, 4250, volume 11,000, open interest 1,000. That is stands out clear as day. Massive volume spike near close on Friday. So if the market's going to get any kind of continuation this week, this could have a couple huge days, like 7-9% upside moves. So short version, I'm keeping it and
Okay.
trading it.
Okay. Not my favorite semi setup. I had a divvy flush here that probably going to give you a pretty decent entry if that thesis is correct, though. Um,
Yeah.
I like this to get back to that 40, 46 level. They just need some tailwind, all of them. Mullen,
Yeah, they do. And I mean, anyone who follows me, like I'm really hesitant on semiconductors,
yes,
for the past year.
yeah,
Um, wish I was more downside back then. But my kind of thing, I'm just going to stay away was my outlook there. But yeah, we're trying to catch some firm footing here, so we'll see what happens.
perfect, perfect. Mullen, shout out to Mullen. They killed
Yeah.
that Friday. They did not want 50 on Friday.
Yeah. I'm gonna back out. I'm just gonna take the win and not try to play for the full 50-cent move.
32% wasn't enough for you on the week
Yeah. Right.
on the share side. Um, NOV.
Yeah, I really like we've been talking about. I like the sector. I I'm gonna take this one off just because I'm just gonna take the win on it, but definitely could see this going to 24. Like if you already are in leaps on it, I think you want to keep them, but I wouldn't
Yep,
buy any right here
yep.
unless we check back down to um,
20.
like 2050 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now that's this one's off on the new requirements. Like it's not a place to enter and there's not enough range from here. The range is a little too
yeah.
tight. You're kind of 50-50 on the either way. So, but if you're in, you're good. ORGN.
Got the move to 5, so I'm gonna take it off. We'll be back. Depending on like, it's either gonna there's a scenario where it just 5 and keeps it, but it's got to prove itself at that level for me to do that, or it's going to check back down and we'll play
Yes,
it back to 5 again.
probably the latter.
Yeah,
Pen. God, our timing's we're getting good on this timing thing.
yeah. um, Penn, I like our newer gambling stocks better, maybe.
Okay,
So we'll take it off, but I still got some flow to like 34, 35. I just want to add under 30
100%, 100%.
if I re-add. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, we're on the same page with that guy. PayPal.
Well, it's no Square, but it had a great week.
It's 10%.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna take the win. Could
Hilarious.
definitely go to 80 though. If if you know it and you trade it, like it's going to give you some opportunities. But
It
did
could
her
go to
job on
80, but it probably will also offer that $70 entry again. So
exactly.
throw that out there. Roblox.
Really interested how this one stayed red on Friday, and sold off big into close. Not sure what's up with that.
We open and close 3 cents
Um,
off on the week, P. That was flat as fuck on
yeah,
the week.
yeah. I'm gonna back off it for now.
Yeah? Okay.
But,
All right.
well, let me check the flow. Let me see.
Tell me what you got.
Do one more check here.
If your flow's not A plus, I mean, we can give another week. Okay, I have 32 coming back and eventually not giving up, but I could be wrong there. It could reject that, and if it rejects it from here, it's not the greatest setup. That's where I'm at with it.
113.33C. Oh, that's better than I thought.
It's good.
Um,
We're keeping it.
so it puts at 29,
Yeah.
113.30C. There's enough flow in the 30s to justify keeping this.
It's that same
So
setup,
so
adding under 30
it's
into the 30s, right?
yeah, basically it's like the same reason I added last week, but then kind of nothing happened unless you were scalping it, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll keep it.
Perfect. Perfect. REI. Do you have flow on this?
Let me see.
Yeah, this has got 50 cents. I always treat that one does. I
Oh
kind
yeah,
of knew.
Ring Energy.
Yeah, I knew we were getting a check back. I just didn't think it was going to happen in one day. I play this the 220 to 250, 240, 250 is kind of where you load this for the move to three. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, 616.3C stands out on it. Those have a lot of time though, so I don't know if the
Let's keep it in
short term
notes.
move is imminent.
Keep it in notes.
Yeah, we'll keep it in notes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sand, dub.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take the win.
Yeah,
Gold's still good. I want to pull back before I'd add any more though.
exactly. SD. Another one of them flipping. There's
Uh,
so many. It's a
yeah, I still like this to 18 to 20.
it's a
Those are the strikes that stand out.
weekly doji again. It's 20 cents on the whole week. I mean, just flat.
Yeah.
Square.
Um, yeah, gonna take the win. Probably going to $80. But I'd want a better entry before adding it.
Love it. Yeah, I like that. That
If you
60,
missed it, be patient.
yeah, 60 50 line is where it's at. That's all you need. STNG surprisingly pulled back early in the week.
Yeah, really the kind of the first time that
Yeah,
it's done that in a long time. Gonna take it off for now. I think it gets back in that uptrend, but
perfect.
revisit it next week.
Not my all-time highs aren't my favorite, so you know I'm not fighting there.
Yeah.
Tech.
Wow. Love this. Don't really like to add at 40 though. But I still got flow to like 40, 45, 46. Just gonna take it off for a week, see what happens.
Perfect. Tell.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna keep Tell because I think it's going back to $2
Like it.
and see where we go from there.
Yeah, not a bad week. Confirmation down at that level. Twillo.
Yeah, this is one that the move to like 52 to 54 was sort of my target. Kind of checking back down here a bit. Don't want to add it here if the market gets a big pullback and we get back into the mid 40s or under that. Very excellent setup, but gonna back off for now.
What's your
Take the
top?
win.
What was your top there? Just curious.
So this last time it was 56. We
Okay.
didn't quite
Okay.
get there.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
just looking to reset the flow on it.
That chart's gappy like the 65. Once you get above that
Yeah,
56.
yeah, yeah. It's
um,
it's it's one that you want to stay on, and I think they'll come out of the bear market pretty well. So
nice. UAN.
yeah, gonna take the win here. Had ads under 100 up to 103, so
Love it.
works for me.
The four U's.
Yeah, I'd stay on uranium. Not sure what the news is. It's going to push this, but 750 stands out for me.
Yeah, you've been pounding the table on that. Very respectful of the trend line in the 650 level, but when we pop this 650, I think Professor's going to have a different flow read for us. Workday.
Um, I like snow more, so I'm gonna take this off and just it's been good to us. So I'll come back to it.
I think I called this as a short
Has
play
that
last week.
earnings gap to the downside that is sticking out to me.
Yes,
There is
yes.
some flow to 150. So if we do go back to 150 or under like 145, something like that, really excellent upside play again. So we'll stay on it.
Actually, and I'm trying to do this more. I had this in my hot list keepers last week with a blood mark next to it because I kind of see this downside back to the 162. Hopefully, someone picked that up and played it. Um,
Yeah.
it's just natural movement of the charts. It's really easy to see. Not like I'm a genius or anything, but when I'm watching these regularly, then it's really easy to see. It's not like I just pull up a chart and say, "Oh, this one's going to go short." It's because I've been watching this chart for the last 3 weeks and knowing how it's
Yeah.
moving, and that's what it's about. And um, seeing that payoff is nice in that setup. So perfect. Win the real one this time, not the
Yeah.
connector.
uh, Still love this sector. I'm gonna take
Take it. Okay, I'm with you.
the win on this.
I'm with you.
Very well could see this over $100 though. Would not surprise me.
Yeah, no, if this drops back into the 80s, we'll put it back on it. But just that new
Yeah.
requirement that we have, if it's not a good spot to enter or it doesn't have really good range, that outweighs the pullback possibility. Just remove it.
Right. Yeah. Because some of them like basically it's kind of like you get the win, you get the home run, and then are you going to do the backflip and keep it on there just to highlight that you won, or are you just going to move on? So we'll move on.
Yeah,
It's
you
fine.
can, but I'd rather what we do just be nailing the proper entries. How you manage the trade,
Yeah.
that's on you. I mean, you could hold win at the 80
Right. Right.
for 6 months if you want. I mean, go for it.
Yeah.
Have fun. I mean, it's your trade. I mean, you could trade it off of 80 for the 5% and call it good. Use scalp options off of it, but at 93, we just don't really have a good plan for you, right? Like buying shares at
Yeah.
93. Um, yeah, perfect. All right, let's get into my stuff, which should go pretty quick because Professor watched the video.
Yeah.
um, where are you with ACI out the gate with the ER this week? Maybe some news around that merger. I did mention Kroger chart; they're kind of in the same place, but where are you with ACI? I mean, this I'm in it. I'm
So I
full disclosure, I'm
I
in this thing.
ACI is on the right side of the merger because I think Kroger could actually fall on it. And the Kroger flow is a little bit bearish. ACI, what they're doing is they're just parking money in leaps and waiting. Is Let me give you the exact strikes here. Yeah, so they are looking at June and July 23 to 25C.
Yeah, the 25 is my
Um,
level.
and then a lot of 20s and 21s too. So there's no attempt to short this. There's no sentiment that the merger is going to fall through or anything like that. Yeah, just going to take some patience.
I'm just gonna keep it in notes then. I mean,
Yeah.
it's I've been there for a while. Just the 20 level strong, and I'm playing it. Have to watch it. Might as well write notes on it. If you see something though, please let me know.
Yeah.
Like if 30s come in or something like that, because I'll just add. Calm 715 back to the 9.
Yeah. Definitely looking at the chart. I definitely like the chart.
Yeah, I don't remember why it completely fucking failed, but
Yeah, just not a flow to have
okay.
a real opinion, but I think you can play this off the TA for sure.
Okay.
Flow will come later.
Well, not everything's gonna work out that way. I mean, not every stock's gonna line up perfectly for us every time. Some are gonna be flow, some are gonna be
Yeah.
TA, some are gonna be late flow, late
Yep.
TA. That's just what it is. Um, Funko. This trend, I mean, this trend won't stop. I've been scared to add, but now I'm getting FOMO. I mean, because we're up 20% from that $10 level that I said it needed to confirm. 16%.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
after I watched the video, I did look this up, and I've got May 15C.
Yeah. Do you have? Are
I've
they
got
selling
12.
puts? Are they selling puts at 11 or 10 or 12? I mean, what are they doing backside on the bottom? Because I still think you want
Yeah,
tens.
the sold puts at 10 are all bid side, so that means they're likely selling it, and they're selling puts at 12.5 too. Put to call ratio though is 0.04, so there's no puts to speak
Would
of any
you
kind.
would you add here? I'm talking option side. Would you add 15s here?
Yeah, so I would uh, 10C is a little expensive. Yeah, so I would look at like, yeah, I'd take a May 15C for like $80, and I'd buy one or two, and you'll probably double that.
So so are we give it a week again? Notes or suggest that this is a good time to start scaling into this thing? Uh,
Uh, let's go. Well, let's. I think we should add it.
okay.
We'll add Funko. We'll
Um,
get some toy sector exposure here.
That Matt chart ain't bad either, but I'm kind of wanting the report from Christmas. I've been watching that too.
Um,
Mattel.
I've been, and honestly, I'm really mad because I had a note on Hasbro
Yeah.
under 60, and it's now 64. So yeah.
This flipping FVRR, the fiver, keeps hitting my
Oh yeah,
level.
yeah.
Yeah, this 29.55 won't go away. Where was our upper? Upper's back to 40, so it's a 30 to 40 guy. Um, I totally got this from you.
Uh, uh, actually, yeah. Look at this. I got 217 40C, and I've got into the summer. I've got 45C, 50C. Um, yeah, this actually could do something.
Woohoo!
So
Let's do it.
kind of low risk down here.
Yeah, that's what I
I
was.
mean, this is a stock that absolutely got destroyed, and then the whole sort of the
Yes.
end of QE just absolutely killed them. But kind of found some stability down here, and has this kind of history of running to $40. So um, yeah, I think we should get it this round. Let's do it.
Perfect. Perfect. Um, G Stat. I don't know if you get flow read on this. This was the guys that I think it was. They signed a deal with
I
Apple.
I did. That last run, it was all over the flow, and I actually I have tweets about this one back when it was near dollar. Let me see. Uh, yeah, flow's kind of bearish in the calls on it,
Okay.
so not really great on my end.
Yeah. Perfect. Heminex. That's a semiconductor, correct?
Yeah, it is. And this one had the last rally. It kind of missed the boat on that, to be honest. But then, no, like two rallies ago, I mean, had this crazy dip to $5, and
Yes.
now is sitting here. Let me see.
I'm a nine guy. Nines or tens, but I'm assuming nines would come first. So that's pretty thick there.
I've got I got 8C. I've got 128C. I've got June 15C, a lot of sevens. So yeah, the setup is bullish. There's not a lot of clarity in the out of
Clarity.
the money stuff that we know where it's going to go, but maybe wait a week.
Yeah, let's watch this guy. I mean, we're thick already. Let's make sure they're A pluses for sure. We'll watch that for another week.
This is a good example of how like we don't always try to catch the bottom on everything.
Yeah,
Um,
no, God no.
because it was that because that dropped to five, there was no that was just no man's land, right? So there's just no certainty about anything down there. So you just wait and then let it get its footing, and that's when it's better.
Yeah, no, I said that to Goose last week. She kind of gave me one of them laugh emojis about I don't try to call bottoms. I don't. I try to call levels of support. I mean, whether that's the
Yeah,
bottom or not, it might not be the bottom. It might be the level up from the bottom. But I mean, that's more important that there's actual support there in the share distribution than trying to catch a knife. And um, unless it's like a 30% oversell psych bounce, and then you take that scalp. But other than that, like you don't
yeah.
don't try to call bottoms. You're playing with fire. Um, play uptrends. Speaking of uptrends,
Yep.
HL. Where you got anything on this guy? I just really like the chart.
Let me see.
They're a
Yeah,
minor.
if I recall that it just doesn't get a lot of option flow to
That's so crazy to me.
that. Yeah. Well, actually, no, quite a bit came in at too.
I love when I beat the flow
Yeah, this is one like it just doesn't show up in my
in your
filters for
in your
some reason,
stuff.
but when
Yeah.
I dig into it, it goes pretty well. So I got 224 6.5C, 224 7C,
The seven is
and
my sevens where
volume over open interest on kind of everything.
yeah, sevens where I think we're going. Um, the trend's been
Yeah,
real hard. The trend's been like undeniable. Right now, 550, 575, kind of where you got to add at, which is enough for me to play. If you're A plus on your side, if not, I can notes it.
I think we are, and by the way, they're one of these that they kind of cover the precious metals industry from everywhere from taking it out of the ground to refining it
Mm-hmm.
to brokers. So they encapsulate all of that. So it's sometimes good to kind of know what kind of stock you're into because their whole exposure to the sector is pretty broad. So
Pretty broad.
I do like them.
Perfect. Mo, it's been a while since we talked about it. It bounced pretty good off that 45. Thursday, Friday. So just curious what you got.
Yeah.
It's another one we just hit out the park, in my opinion, from 41 to 45, two or three times, and now we're confirming the upper level.
Yeah, end of February, it's got some 49s and 50s.
That's enough for me if it's playable on your end.
Yeah, for this one's kind of tends to grind a bit. Yeah, I do like that.
Okay,
So
perfect.
like us to get back into to 50.
Killing it this week. Let's go. Invex, where you at on that? I got a big range, so
Yeah, I looked into it.
I mean we could be down here for another 3 months, or we can check back to that
Good,
18.
and mRNA is I was tempted to do this as a short target. mRNA has some really ugly
Okay, okay.
flow to like 150, 160, and as a sympathy, NVAC sometimes takes a hit on that.
Sector flow bad. Check back. All right, yeah, and I'm just gonna. I'm literally just seeing if this holds 10. That's where this is just like Funco in that regard from the TA standpoint. Same setup.
Yeah.
Um, I'm giving you a pass because I seen all your testimonials last week on this guy. I'll give you a pass for not getting to it, but PBI, I do want to check in on it now. I think we got I think we got the move though, but I just wanted to have a
Yeah.
conversation about it. Um, you were in the zone though. You were in the zone. I'm good. You do your thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You were in the zone, man. I can't hate when you're doing good. Congratulations, 100%. Keep it going. But I do want to know where this is at now that we're on the bench.
Yeah.
Probably the move though.
Yeah. So I don't have much past five C's, kind of the top. So
Yeah, I'll wait,
if
wait for
we
some.
want to go for that move, we could. But
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I got what I got. I got what I got out of it. It wasn't much, but we got
yeah.
some out of it. Um, PL, it's my favorite space play right now. If you're gonna have one squeeze, I think this is the one.
72110C.
I pulled that statement out my ass.
And
um, yeah, I like it off
yeah, this
450. I don't know what you.
right kind of has that EVTL look to me, to be honest. So
Okay.
definitely want to keep an eye on this.
Notes.
Yeah, us go ahead and get. We have one space play on there. Let's go ahead and get another one. We'll add this one. I'll do it.
Okay. Well, I got one more here, so if you want to switch, feel free. Um, we'll go.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
just, let's just do that right now. Rocket Lab, RKLB. Kathy Woods, shout out here.
So yeah, Rocket Lab is bullish on the shorter time frames. My draft was Vorb Space Rocket Lab, and then I took Space and Rocket Lab off. If the TA is good though, I've got flow to 5 and 6 on it
Okay,
in
so
the
the
market.
the TA is better on Rocket Lab, but the range is not. I have this from the 410 to the 475, or basically $5 level. So
Yeah.
you only have a dollar range. Like you're saying, the six is the top. Where the PL 10 is easily achievable. Well, 8 to 10, right, is easily achievable from
Yeah.
the $4. So the range is better on the other one. The TA technically is safer on Rocket Lab.
Yes.
So how? So they're both good to you?
I would add both,
Okay.
but
Okay.
you just want to know what you're trading. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't know anything about space, I would trade Rocket Lab or momentum
Yeah.
trade VORB on the news. That's what I would do. Um, perfect. Play. Old Faithful here. Give me them 44s or 50s, and we're back in here. Our range is so big on this, 30 to 44, with this 38.56 here in the middle, which we're currently at. Landed right there on Friday.
Let's see. Yeah, I've got April 45C.
Is your like PC ratio real low? That thing, that metric,
It is yeah, 0.11. That's really low.
A plus then. You know I love play.
I'd rather add like 35,
Okay,
but other than
no,
that,
no,
yes.
no, no, notes.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's just a different setup. Share side to
Yeah, really
option side.
I should have been on this after that earnings drop, because look, it did that thing where like it recovered a bit, it has that secondary drop, and then it goes. I
Yeah,
see
no,
that over and over again.
I was doing what you're doing right now. I was waiting for the 30s, and it never happened.
Yeah.
Where you're like the 35s, right? It's the same thing. I wouldn't buy
Hmm.
it 33 to
Yep.
30. You're not buying it 38 to 35. It's just yeah, totally interesting. Rig feels like PBI to me. Might have missed the boat here, but looking like we're gonna check through five. Just curious what you got on this guy. Um, it ranges back enough to probably wait if you're not strong like into the sixes, but it looks like we're about to stay up this time.
Yeah, so I got 519.6, 519.8. So flow's really strong, and those are the two most popular contracts. And basically the same whales buy the same amount of both of them. So they want to be in 6 and 8C
Yeah, I have 450 as a
for
perfect ad.
May.
450, 460 is the perfect ad spot then.
Yeah, so we should add it.
Okay, perfect. We're gonna be thick this week, but I think these are really good ones, and a
Yeah.
lot of them we've already been on. So, um, I'm surprised we didn't talk about this on your end, the sector. I mean, solar run. Um, a couple of them are in really, really,
Oh yeah.
really good spots.
Let's see. Yeah, I've got 25C looks really good for 120 and 27.5C February. I do like, yeah, I like solar to reverse this week. I'm going to be on end phase. Um, this one is really good kind of option shares combo
Yes.
kind of stock.
Yeah, and one of the bigger
Um,
names too.
yeah, yeah, let's do it. Biden was pumping solar a bit. We'll see if that pans out.
Perfect. Killing it this week. And then Val will be my last guy. It's not oil, huh? It's metals. I thought it was
Yeah,
oil.
steel. Yeah, steel and nickel.
I have 1719. You can see it on the weekly. What like 5 weeks it's took to break through it, but we broke through it Friday. I assume we're going to come back down to the 17 level, but a move off that level into the 20s would be playable.
Yeah, I've been on 20C leaps for this for a while. Um, don't like adding right here as much
Okay, notes.
though.
Let's notes.
Yeah,
Especially if you're already there. I mean, there's no reason to. If it's coming out of your notes, it should be in an A plus situation.
yeah.
If not, we'll just keep it in the notes. We'll just keep doing what we're doing. Perfect. Um, that's about all I got. Oh, one personal one. What do you got on Piton? I'm holding this puppy.
I I mean, I think it's definitely going to 9, and I've got 11s and 12s for February on it.
Okay. Okay.
So it's probably my favorite consumer cyclical stock right now, um, and would not short it down here ever.
Yeah,
So
I got
yeah,
832, 833 on Friday, and I just held it. But I'm full position, so if I just want to know if I need to take nines or take half at nine. But it sounds like I'll just take half at nine, see what happens.
I would do that. Yeah, I think it's gonna clear 9 though.
Take half at nine, and I'll stop loss at like 860. That's my RTL box, and just call it good. Let that run a little bit.
Yeah.
Perfect. Got anything for me? I think that was it.
Um, no, I'll be in writing up some notes. I set up a Leap channel, so I have a
Okay.
couple ideas there that I want to get posted, and those obviously are kind of longer term plays. But there's some tech stocks that Wales have really been getting into on that, so I have a lot to say there. Be looking at futures, and yeah, we'll see if anything big happens.
Yeah, I'll throw charts up just like I do on Hot Stove. I like where those are going. Both of those, the Bear Cave, Hot Stove, Leap Page, like where they're kind of like bigger overall theses where we both put our input in on. So I'll just keep following your
Yeah,
lead.
yeah.
I'll keep following your lead there. Seems to be working great. So
Yeah, make sure that check that you have permissions on the lead page to write. You need to do that.
yeah, yeah. You need to give me permissions on
Yeah.
Pox page.
Oh yeah, yeah. I will. I will.
No, I don't know why I'm so bitter about that, but I see you guys talking over
Keep
there.
it going.
I feel left out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, have another great week, P. Keep doing what you're doing. Love to see it.
Yep.
And yeah, you need anything, let me know. Awesome,
All right.
awesome,
Appreciate it.
awesome. Have a good day.